Hey, I am Sierra Bailey, and I'm Director of Marketing and Promotions, and I am doing Josh's job right now because he's lazy.
Wow. And I am Joshua Will, Director of Promotions, and welcome to Funny in Theory, which is my job too.
I feel like this episode is going to be sassy.
It's going to be really sassy.
I think I'm in a sassy mood, and I'm going to try not to be. I'm going to try to tone it down. But
there's a lot of things I want to talk about, and I'm going to turn my volume up here because I can't hear myself, which is a good thing sometimes. But I am not one of those people who immediately has a reaction. I don't get like angry right away. I don't snap back right away, but I do simmer.
You simmer.
I simmer. That is the Sicilian in me.
Okay.
Just I can hold on to grudges I can talk about things that happened in 8th grade and stuff like that.
Tell me about one of them.
I threw a bucket of water on a bunch of teachers during a pep rally because they were doing a luau dance.
Yeah.
And we thought it'd be funny that they got hit by a wave. One of the teachers found it very funny. The other teacher held it against me the entire year. Would I go back and do it again? No. Was it one of those things you're like, oh, it's an 8th grader. He probably thinks this is funny, didn't think it through, but in the end, all I did was get wet.
Did you get suspended?
No, but he called me Eddie Haskell for like the entire year in front of the class. And he was...
I don't know what that is.
Eddie Haskell was a character on the Leave It to Beaver show who in front of the parents was always the golden child, but behind their back was kind of conniving and mean and always put on a good face for the grown-ups, but was kind of a jerk to the other kids.
Wow.
And so this, antiquated moniker that he gave me the entire year, and it was just like, dude, you got to get over it.
Yeah.
And, I still kind of angry at that day, taking no responsibility for myself, but
I did nothing when I was in school. Never got detention. I turned my computer off in kindergarten once. We were playing Oregon Trail, and I turned it off before I was told to, and the teacher didn't get mad, but in my mind got very mad at me. Like this is why it's so weird. I was such an angel child. Betty and John can fact check this. Me and my brother, we did not get in trouble really. Like I think I bit him once. Like it was, I mean, we fought, but nothing too serious.
Fights, you weren't like.
Yeah, but we, neither one of us got detention ever. We just, I don't know. I think I'm like scared of authority, but now that I am the authority, I'm like the complete opposite. I don't know. I still wouldn't think that I'm a bad human, but I'm not as like straight as I used to be. Yeah. Well, I am straight. Wow. Whoops. Anyways, you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Straight and narrow.
No detention for me either. I think I remember. So my parents always wanted me to be on some type of AB honor roll, keep a 3.0 throughout high school. When I was a junior, I got chicken pox. I didn't get chicken pox until I was 17 years old.
Dude, but did you live in a hole?
Yeah, like you said, I'm lazy. And, and so this came at the end of, or the middle of junior year when we have a huge term paper due. This was when I went to high school. You knew that this term paper meant
another phrase you don't hear anymore, term paper.
Term paper, yeah.
I don't even think we called it that.
No, we had no, like I just heard you say computer in kindergarten, and I can't even comprehend that. We barely had computers when I was in high school.
Man.
And so I had to do everything from home because I'm contagious, and if you look at me ever closely, you'll see little pock marks in my nose. That's simply because...
You scratched?
No, they just fell out. I remember weeks after... just kind of scratching my nose, not scratching, just itching my nose. And like just a chicken pox mole just fell on my desk. So you can still see it here. Anyway.
That's so funny. Okay, now that's reminding me of, have you ever noticed my right earlobe is slit? Mm-hmm. That happened to me. That used to be like just an earring, like a hole. And one day I was just, probably like 8 years ago, I was just scratching it, maybe 6 years ago, whatever. And all of a sudden, it just like separated. Didn't bleed, nothing.
And you said it didn't hurt.
I was like, what the heck? And I like ran into the bathroom and I like started screaming. I was like, I can't say what I said then, but I made a joke, but like now my ear is slit. And like, it's just always been that way now.
Just butter lobes. Just
I
right
know.
through
So
it,
now
like
I look like, I've always said that I should color my earlobe yellow and be Miss Pac-Man just on my earlobe for, just for Halloween. Anyways.
Okay. So getting in trouble. This is,
Hey, what kind of podcast is this?
It's a promotions podcast here at the St. Paul Saints CHS field.
Okay. What are you going to say about getting in trouble? Did you get in trouble at a Saints game?
No, but, no, I don't. I've gotten some side eye at a Saints game. Oh, but anyway, so I had to do this term paper from home. So I wasn't there for any of the instruction. There's no online instruction. There's no. Did
you have to use like stone and?
Pretty much in a chisel, yeah, the entire time. So my teacher, Miss, would send home the assignments. I would do them, send them back with my brother, who was also, and she would send them back correct and say, no, you did this wrong. And it's like, oh, okay. And then she would explain what I did wrong, and I would redo it and send it in the next day. Mm-hmm. This happened for 2 weeks. She only graded me on the first paper or the first assignment that I handed in. So I was constantly failing all these small assignments leading up to the big term paper. And it's the only class I've ever gotten a D. I actually got a D- in that class.
What class is this?
This was English. This is a term paper. Because this was...
Where you say you talk and write for a living?
Yeah, 80%. Actually, that's a very funny story, too.
In theory.
I wasn't there. I did the work, but I was also grounded because I got a D. And I was like one of the only few times.
Well, you had pox too, though. So
yeah, I was really infectious. No, she absolutely made me despise. We should probably.
You should have just rubbed your pox all over that paper.
But then the next year, Miss Hanley would let if you like. This was funny to us. Let's say we're doing a term paper on Hamlet, and the title of the paper was That Shakespeare Play. She would take points off because that wasn't correct. The next teacher was like, do what you want. This is your paper. As long as you know what you're doing and you're able to. And I was like, oh, this can be fun. And she got me back into to English as well. So, and that's where, and she was also one of the people whose advice I've always taken very strongly. On the last day of school, she's like, guys, it's been a pleasure teaching you. I hope you've had fun. Please don't come back. Don't be those students that come back year after year. This was your high school experience.
Yeah.
Don't come back and try to relive that. And whether it's been jobs or plays or college, I'm still that way. It's like, let's leave the memories the way they were.
Okay.
And either they're going to simmer and I'm going to become very jaded, or I'm going to romanticize them. So this was not what I was planning on talking about.
What are we talking about today?
Hey,
what are you drinking over there? Whiskey?
Oh my gosh, straight up coffee.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, straight up coffee. It's probably my 4th cup of the day.
Really? I'm on my first. I was telling you this before. Gargle it.
Oh, I'm not good at gargling.
I have like a migraine right now. Ew.
That's all I can do. Salt water, like if you have to gargle.
Oh, yeah.
It's
why do you do that again?
Fest.
I've done that before, but why did I do it?
Well, hot water and salt just kind of helps ease the sore throat, I assume.
Maybe that's what it is.
I don't know if it particularly...
Sore throats are just like the worst.
I hate them.
Like they're so uncomfortable.
When I get seasonal coughs, I suppress them so much that by the time I do cough...
The worst is when you're taking a test in school and you have to cough and you just try to hold it in and your eyes start to water so bad.
I learned something about Sierra Bailey and my how we think. And I've realized you were very immediate in your thinking.
For sure.
Yeah. And I'm a little more...
simmer.
Long term. Yeah, I simmer. So when you and I are talking about something, and we talked about this too, is sometimes I skip the obvious thought and I move to the next one. And a lot of that has to do with if you see a joke coming, you try to take a left turn so people don't see it coming, but they still have some sort of reference point. And here is a text I got Sunday morning.
Uh-oh.
And so I read into it, and Sierra's very straightforward. So a few days ago when I made the script, I labeled an open inning break, excuse me, but had put zero thought into it. Thoughts? And yes, we are still doing T-Rex training. I just liked the name, ha ha. So in my mind, And keep in mind, I just woke up.
And I had been working at the ballpark for like an hour at this point. So you're just waking up.
Well, I went home and I was dad till really late.
Kidding.
But it's not a job because I don't get paid for it.
Babysitting
for free.
For free.
So we had talked the night before that we were going to do T-Rex training. And now I get this script saying, I have this idea for a thing, but we're going to do T-Rex training anyway. So in my mind was, I just like this idea. Don't let me forget it. So I write back, I don't know. Sounds like something perfect for an Easter game. And then the text is, well, today is called, oh, you actually say it. Well, today is called Kegs and Eggs. I'm like, okay, well, she means today. So we now have an open inning in today's game. And this is how we work. And it's really kind of cool. First, eat 5 hard-boiled eggs and slam a beer. That was my response for excuse me. And then Sierra's, maybe peel hard-boiled eggs. Then I say make a target. Contestant has to use a lacrosse stick to hit it with eggs, or peel and eat as many as possible. I'm going back to an earlier text. Or a word scramble, just like egg scramble, and just go with an OG. How about a chubby bunny type game? LOL. Yes, that's disgusting. Can we do it with Ushertainers? Yep, I'll buy marshmallows. What? I thought we were doing it with eggs. Haha. Even better, I'll buy eggs.
I don't know where you came up with marshmallows, though. I know that's what Chubby Bunny is, but literally this whole time we were talking about eggs.
And literal is exactly, I'm going symbolic. Excuse me. It's just, I'm seeing the title.
Yeah.
And so we're just playing with the idea of, excuse me, we've gone past the eggs.
Yeah.
But particularly for on-field promos, it has to be literal. The audience doesn't have time to think. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then you wanted them to read a chapter of what they had to say.
I do not like green eggs and hams. I do not like them, Sam. I am.
That's long.
That's very long. But again, I had to ask you too, what is your version of Chubby Bunny?
Why don't you just say Chubby Bunny?
And that's right, because it's just,
yeah.
But I wasn't sure if we're going to give them something to say. So we just kind of work stuff out.
Yeah.
Which I think, but that whole literal versus long-term, or I put immediate versus long-term, or literal versus symbolic. So there's a lot of times you'll write something and I'm like, okay, and I've worked 3 things out of my head and I'll write you back and you're like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh yeah, you didn't see my thought process there. So that's there. I also want to talk about, here we go, high five, Knuckles, Duck on Saturday.
Yeah.
What I thought was a really, we'll just call it a straight up success.
I agree.
It was, and
we put almost no effort into it.
No, but we all realized what the intern. Okay, first of all, I really want to give a shout out to the remaining interns. Mm-hmm. I told them at the end of every year, we say, interns come and go, but you guys were a really good group, and then they'll leave, and you and I will look at each other like, whatever, they're fine. But the remaining 6 or 7 this year, really, really great job. And I want to throw out a Kelly this year. Intern Kelly, I think if you look where she was and what she did during the season, because she was up in the crow's nest for the cantaloupe throw. So she was right next to the guy. I saw that in the video. So she experienced that right away in the summer. She also was in the sumo suits twice. Mm-hmm. And I was watching the new...
I know, it was a little like the last one. Man, she got drugged pretty far. Dragged, I think. Drugged? No, that doesn't sound right. She wasn't. I don't know.
But who else was with her? It was Sam. Sam basically grabbed her by the collar and dragged her on the field for 15 feet. But I've never seen that, and it was hysterical.
It was.
But she had all these great on-field experiences, more so than the other Ushertainers. And you wouldn't...
interns or Ushertainers?
I'm sorry, interns. But the one thing, I watched the new Triple the Fun episode, and I listened to people talk about their favorite moment during the season, is she was the only intern to get into Rally Squirrel this year.
Yeah.
And she had the biggest smile on her face because she didn't know what to do, and we gave her no instruction, which is the point of
There is no instruction to Rally Squirrel.
And she was signing autographs, and she had the biggest smile on her face, and that to me was like, that's my highlight of the season was, how do you if you were to tell people what you did 20 years from now, whether it's your kids, whether it's your friends, you can't relive that moment because they're going to be like,
I know. I remember my very first day when I was a game day intern, a Saints employee, I think his name was Mike. Anyways, he came down to talk to us and he's like, I suggest that all of you write down 2 or 3 funny things that happened that night. Because at the end of the season, it's going to be a blur and you're going to want to go back and look at all of it. And I didn't, but I wish I would have because there's just so much stuff that happens. And again, when Joey's interviewing you for Triple the Fun, what's your favorite moment? It's like, well, I know I laughed a lot, but gosh, I can't think of, clearly, honestly, the only thing I could think of was Cubchuck. But I know there's like way other great moments too.
yeah.
I just can't think of them because it's all somewhat mashed potatoes up here.
Not only that, they blur.
Yeah.
What season did that happen? I was talking to one of the yellow coat ushers, and they're like, "We love the stories. We want to." I don't know what to call them because I want
Yellow coat ushers?
yellow coat ushers. Our ushers.
Yeah.
Our security.
They wear yellow polos.
Yeah. But you know who I was talking about.
You could have just said usher. I was talking to an usher.
Well,
and then you added in yellow coat.
I was doing this for our 4 listeners, so I wasn't talking about the usher-tainers.
Yeah. Yes, because we actually do have ushers that help
Yep.
people get to their seat if
That's what I'm
if
talking
they
about.
need to.
So, and they said, we love the stories. We want to hear more.
But the listeners
I'm so trying to move on.
Painting a picture that they're not wearing yellow coats.
Our yellow shirt polo.
Yellow polos.
Our yellow.
They match the
our
seats.
wonderful staff out on the concourse.
They match the random yellow seats that we always get asked. Why are those yellow?
What is your answer for that? Do you have a funny answer?
I don't think I have a funny answer. I have an answer that I was told, but I don't think that's real either. I was told that if we never sold out, that the yellow seats made it look like bodies were sitting there on TV. I don't know. So
Is that where the ushers sit?
Yeah.
No, I heard it was an aesthetic thing.
Well, yeah, that's the main reason.
Okay, and
but people don't like that reason.
And the other one was we ran out of money, and those were the only seats that we could buy, and they happened to be yellow.
I like that too.
Yeah.
People really don't like the answer, the real answer. It's just for looks.
Yeah.
They also don't like the answer of what does CHS stand for? It stands for nothing. It's literally just CHS. Yeah, but it's got to stand for some words. It doesn't. People do not like that. They don't accept it.
Well, it's very funny. I looked it up when I got here, and
what did you find?
I don't know if I can say it because when I said it to
doesn't
someone,
stand for that though. They're very particular about this.
okay,
It's not Senex and Harvest.
services.
Is it services?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's not what it stands for.
It wasn't you, but I think I said that to someone, and someone turned around and was like, "No, it's CHS." I'm like, okay.
We always get every year. So I'm the one that goes through the pig names, all the ones that are submitted, and I like dwindle it down. Every year, there's always somebody that puts in crispy ham sandwich, and then in parentheses, they go get it for CHS. I'm like, got it. Good one. And it never makes the top 10.
Stop submitting it, whoever you are.
Yeah. Gosh.
Going back, yellow mustard shirt,
Okay,
polo
yeah.
jacket. Said we really love when you tell stories that happen during the game. Do more of that. And it's like we
On the
try.
podcast?
Yeah, we try.
Oh.
We can't remember them. You can't ask someone to. I do this to you all the time. I'm like, "What's your favorite?" Like, I don't know. I can't remember. And
I know. Well, I mean, I feel like a lot of times we could talk about things, but the funny things normally are when the contestants are just complete buttheads. And so it's hard to talk about that, or like when they annoy us. I don't know. What?
Nothing. I'm trying to think how we got there. Oh. We have to go back even further to Duck, Gray Duck on.
That was only a couple days ago.
No, I meant in our conversation. Somehow we got away from that, and you said we did zero planning, which we didn't. It was just like it's going to happen in left field.
Yep.
And then it was just organically this small circle that got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then
it got like layered. There were some times where there was like 4 sets of people in the circle, like not how it's supposed to go.
And the interns did a great job of keeping that circle. Then we're we got to stop it now. It's getting we're running out of circle room. It's going to turn into this weird oval.
Did you see my picture? It was kind of It was like half square, half circle. It's like a squarecle.
So now you imagine this, I don't know how, 30 yards across, 20 yards across, in terms of like the diameter. I'm trying to paint a yellow picture for our listeners. And then you've got another ring behind them. We have them sit down. At this point, it's like we need a microphone because we have to scream over these people.
To be honest, I didn't even see the circle get made, because I had an intern, a game day intern, stop me and was like thanking, because it was his last game, thanking me, telling me how much fun he had and all that stuff. And so I was having like a moment with an intern, and then all of a sudden I hear someone on the microphone about the Grey Duck, and I was like, oh shoot, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So let's go
me.
over
I
there.
ran over and I grabbed one from Nicholas, and I started sharing it with the interns because, like, at this point, guys, get on the mic, have some fun.
Right.
This is unscripted. And then the first couple games of Duck Duck were traditional, just one person going around.
That first one, I remember that kid was so gassed at the end.
Yeah.
It was a big circle to
Massive
run around.
circle.
But by the time he got back to the spot, which he did successfully, he was so tired. It looked like he ran a mile.
And then the kid who was chasing him was like tapping the other ones on the head. And so we did but the whole thing, not planned, but we knew it needed to be done. And I think everyone involved was like, how can we make this better? How can we be kind of a support team? And it kept growing to the point where we had 2 or 3 kids running around at a time because
Multiple games
going on. And then eventually we're like, we're going to call this because we've ducked this to death.
Yeah.
But then the running continued.
Yeah.
People who didn't get a chance to do it. And there were a couple hundred people in that circle. All got to run around.
I
That
know.
was great.
The looks on the adults' faces was what got me. Like, they were just so excited. And it was like,
And the
they were
cheering.
so excited to do it with their children. And yeah, the cheering for, like, when every once in a while, when like person tagged did actually, get to the person before they made it back in
And
the
it was
spot in the circle.
competitive. People were diving.
People were, diving. And then everyone, like, if someone dove and got, the person, then everyone would be like, yeah. And it's like, you guys are cheering as loud right now for this as you were when the Saints were scoring runs this game. Like,
Yeah.
it was so loud. It was great.
I was pumped about it, and I was because we talked about it the next day. It's like maybe we can do this again. I would love to see some sort of competitive duck, and it might be again funny in theory, but
What's a competitive duck?
where we actually the only people on the field are.
Professional Grey Duckers?
Yeah, even if they're 5 years old, you're here to play the game and you're here to win. Everyone else is in the stands watching. I mean, again, that'd be funny for maybe 5 minutes and people would lose interest. But that one person running around and people cheering, I was like, that's pretty awesome. I liked that.
Yeah. Maybe. What's a similar sport to that? Track?
Yeah, you're running in circles, I guess. They hand a baton to the next
Yeah,
person.
maybe we should, maybe the Saints should sponsor some college track athletes, and then we'll suit them up. And they can come out and perform
that'd be
like little
that'd be
monkeys for our
awesome.
fans.
You also made a joke about the world's largest game of dodgeball, I believe. Was that you?
Maybe.
That'd be really funny too.
Yeah, I agree.
Just 500 people, one ball.
We tried doing that during a game. It failed.
Oh.
Remember? Well, no. This year we did it. I wore the ref shirt. Remember that?
Oh, the one-on-one in the
That one
field.
failed.
Yeah.
We didn't think about that when they would miss. The ball would go super far.
Into center field, and he was not particularly happy about
And then
that.
he'd have to go run and grab. It would just, it needed more parameters.
Did this feel like an end-of-the-season game to you?
No.
No, me neither.
I feel like we're in the middle of like them being on the road, and I'm just trying to catch my breath again.
Yeah, I know we're done here at CHS Field, but they've got more games this year.
Toledo.
I believe we're 4-1, so we're leading this weird playoff series.
I heard the Saints are in third
Okay.
or tied for third or something like that.
So going against Toledo, wishing them best of luck, but we got spanked the last time we were there. I think we lost
Never know.
all 5 games. So guys,
I'm very distracted now that I see what is behind you. Who made that? Yeah.
there is a there's a baseball with a
John.
smiley face and basically just projectiles, very sharp
Paper clips
of a baseball man.
Saul, the small St. Paul baseball.
Saul?
Saul, the small St. Paul.
Saul the small St. Paul baseball. Dang. Say that one time fast. Mr. English.
Mustard. I
like mustard.
I'm gonna go. This is gonna be a segue into our next thing.
Not a huge brown mustard person, though.
It depends what type of sausage it's being put on.
Maybe.
Like a hot dog, not so much.
Agreed.
Like a brat or something like that.
Yeah.
I can go with that.
Okay.
Now I want a Polish sausage. Oh, cheddar wurst, man.
You're in luck.
Good cheddar.
Just kidding.
I have some Polish sausage water.
It's my snack.
So mustard. We had German night this year, which is one of my favorite nights because
Again, you're doing the bat signal right there.
the bats. That's me scratching my eye without going.
It's so disgusting. How is that a thing? Can you do that with your armpit?
Put my armpit to my eye.
Well, no.
I know. I can. I'm not going to right now because it's going to be.
If you put your armpit to your eye, it's for sure going to give you glaucoma.
It's the new It's the new eyeball race. I like German night because it's. I don't know how to say this politically correctly.
Try.
It's one of those few you can kind of make fun of the culture, but you're just having fun with it. You're not mocking them. And so when we have these bad German accents or we're doing this and that, it's kind of straightforward. Here we go. We're not gonna do that for other nights. But you wrote me and you said let's we haven't done this since the beginning of the season. Let's do a Human Sunday type thing, but you're going to be a cased sausage.
Oh yes,
and it wasn't me. Let's do a cased sausage and then dump sauerkraut and mustard on them. Mm-hmm. And then as our texts go back and forth, let's have the 4 Germans that come out, and we have a running joke where we have 4 performers come out and they just change nationalities depending on the nights. We've had 4 Irishmen and. What was the other one? The 4 Frenchmen. This time was 4 Germans. And I was like, well, I know they're wearing clothes that they can't, they've either borrowed or...
Yeah.
So my immediate thought was, why don't we just have them pour it on someone? And why doesn't it just be me? Because that's going to be the easiest thing to do. I can bring what I need to bring, even though I never, ever consider what cleanup is going to be like.
I mean, that one got quite the stare from the dugout because of how much it smelled.
Oh, it was awful.
That's sauerkraut. We should have done it in center field.
That's a whole nother conversation too about
that apparently we just don't understand each other.
And so I volunteered.
One of my favorite things to do is when me and Josh are arguing about what we were texting about. I love going back to see who was actually right in the moment.
9 times out of 10, it's usually you. But I look at it. So I thought to myself, it'll be easier if I'm just the contestant. And I don't really see myself as, I don't do this because I want airtime or I care if people are looking at me. I just say,
center of attention, always.
What is the easiest way to do this? Mm-hmm. And so that was it. And for me, the focus was on the Germans and the bad yodeling music and kind of the whole experience until I got the vinegar in the eye. And I was like, oh, this is a really bad decision. And, I really was kind of playing it up. I'm not just going to lay there and let's play that up. But then I got done and something happened either the night before or the night after. It doesn't matter. Where
it might matter.
I went past a fan who was, and this may be out of context, but the way I took it was, when I come to a baseball game, I just want to watch the baseball. I don't need all this other stuff. And it was like,
yeah.
Then why are you here? Or
you
go get yourself a beer at this point. You don't have to watch this. You don't have to,
Between innings, go to the bathroom.
Never heard anyone complain about having people be entertained.
I know, because usually it's people say that they go to the concessions during the baseball play, but they make sure they're in their seats between each inning because they want to see what's going on. And maybe she just missed the memo.
Yeah, but rubbed me the wrong way at the wrong time, and I told you that, and you're like, oh no, that's it, because I think there were 3 things that made you mad that night that you were holding in, and I was like, what were they?
What?
You told me what they were.
What were they?
It was something pregame. It was that, and we never got to the 3rd one because the gate opened. We were standing in center field.
I don't remember.
And it made me think because there are a lot of times, and this is going to be a very serious topic. Sometimes
I'll make it unserious.
We have to think what's the best way to do it? Do we just do it ourselves and know it gets done, or do we delegate it out to other people? And so if I throw myself into the dinosaur costume, or I throw myself into, the human sausage, that makes things very easy on us because we know it's going to get done. We don't have to explain it to people. Sometimes we don't do that. But at the same time, and this is the conversation we got into that night, just because we're playing the fool, just because we're making that joke, doesn't mean we are fools ourselves, or we are the joke. We are doing this for your entertainment. We are what you were seeing on field is not who we are. What we do for a living is not, really indicative of who we are as people. I was washing the mud costume earlier today. I can't say that because
so you're giving mud a bath.
I'm giving mud a bath, and I'm like, this is no different than washing a uniform. This is no different than prepping, whatever. Except this one happens to be big and pink. So why would anyone look at that any differently? And
perception.
And for the most part, it doesn't bother me. But every once in a while, there'll be something that. And I use this term with you. I'm like, today I'm kind of thin-skinned about this. I don't really want to really want to deal with this right now.
I'm a huge proponent of expressing how you feel in the moment. I encourage you always.
I'm getting better at it. Here's an example.
Because then you say it, and then you're over it. Mostly.
That's the problem.
But you simmer.
I simmer, and I don't simmer. I don't want to simmer. You did a great job, clink the glasses right now, when our contestant threw a potato at Jordan.
Ugh.
Okay?
She bothered me.
And she
maybe that's the thing that made me mad. I think it might have been.
I think it might, yeah. Just for context, Jordan Lynn was joking about getting into a
shopping cart.
And she wanted him out of the way, so she threw a potato at him.
While the game was going on, and we weren't starting the promotion yet.
So behind his back, other people walking, and this is a rock you're throwing at someone.
Yeah.
And I looked at her and I said, please don't do that. And you had another take of, do that again. You're
because she was laughing.
That's the problem too, is when you tell somebody. I remember
the other thing that made me mad now. It's the kid who ran on the field, and his parents were totally okay with it.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
it wasn't the okay with it. It was the laughing at you after, I think.
Exactly, and making fun of me for trying to just tell the kid, like, don't ever do that again. That's not okay. Who's calling you?
Home.
Oh, the bidet's out of water.
The bidet's out of water. So going back to the whole, are you a fool? Do I see you as a fool? How helpful do you want to be? We talked about this earlier in the season. It drives me up the wall when the parents ask you for something, whether it's a ball or whether it's, et cetera, et cetera. And sometimes it's straightforward. I can't do that. Other ones are like, hold on, I do have one. And you go out of their way, and kind of that expected, because you work here. And the one thing that really drove me nuts was we were out on the terrace, and my son really wants a ball. And I'm like, actually, I have one. Next time I'm down here, I'll bring it to you. And I gave it to the dad or the uncle, and he turned around and says, look what I got for you. It's like, no. Technically, maybe you did because you asked for it, and et cetera, et cetera. But there is another line within there, because people see us performing, acting goofy. That's still. We still have to be kind of separated. I don't. This is Sunday. I tried to get Baby Dragon out there, and even though it was a perfect game except for the girl crying. By the way,
Josh made a girl cry.
I did not. I have to stand up for myself. I saw this coming. 3 boys turned it down. I had said, "Would you like to do it? Would you like?" And I asked Paula Bunyan, "Would you?" And everyone was turning it down. And this mom was like, "My daughter wants to do it. My daughter wants to do it."
See, I hate when parents do that, though. I always tell the interns when they're trying to find. When we need kids to do a promotion, if the parent is the one that says yes for the kid, don't use that kid, because I guarantee the kid doesn't want to do it, and then they're going to get down there and they're going to start crying, or they're going to just like do the whole shy thing where they shove their face in their parent's armpit. Like, if we can't see their face, they like whatever. But
you're absolutely right.
Thing.
But this girl was leaning forward the whole time, watching Paula talk to these boys. I'm like, oh, she wants in on this. And then when she came down, she actually showed us how she can do the splits in the costume and stuff like that.
Wow.
And people were cheering her on while she was putting the costume on in the middle of the section. So it wasn't even down. And then when it was time to shine. Tears just.
Well, it was right before it was time to shine, because I want to say we waited for a while because she was crying for quite the long time before.
Just get out there and look cute. Wipe those tears up.
Yeah.
Buttercup.
Dang.
And so that was that. But the point being, when fans think they know us or get to know us or get comfortable or have beers in us, 3 times someone was like, pointed at me and said, you could get in that costume. which is honestly comes up to my
Hilarious.
waist. It's like, oh, that's really funny. I'm short. Yeah, good. All right. That's
Maybe if he was 5'7", but he's 5'7" and a half
5'7" and a
people.
half people. I just didn't try hard enough in high school. I had chicken
Hey,
pox.
I had to put
and that
the
stunted my
Hamlin
growth.
costume on before.
The
The Great Race. I was a contestant once.
I didn't know that.
Brian Kelly was on the mic for it. Joey, do you remember? Dude, I totally I would have beat this little kid too. The other one just started crying. So I was like, I looked at David. David was still here. I was like, do you think I could fit in this? And he goes, I think so. And I like put it up to my chest. I was like, oh yeah, we're doing this. So I was a contestant and I totally would have won. But it's not all about winning.
You know, you got to teach some of these kids life lessons. You can't just have everything handed to you.
Well,
You
I
should have
agree.
just smoked them.
Participation points are just ridiculous to me nowadays. But again, I would have looked silly if. What am I going to do with a Hamlin drawstring backpack?
So, were you a contestant because one didn't show up?
No, one just started bawling.
Okay, so you,
And the other one still wanted to do it. So I was like, we were just going to have the one do it. We'll just say they're just going to race to graduate by themselves. But then I did it.
because I think that's what needs to be done. And that's where I want people to know what's the best solution in the moment right now.
Right.
And this wasn't something I woke up today and said, you know what, I really think I want to put on that Hamlin gown and I want to run
know.
with Jordan shoes on. No, it needs to be done. For the most part, I would say a majority of our fans don't know who we are, so it's just some random person out there.
True.
But there's a lot of, we're very complicated people out of this ballpark, and we have many layers, and we're very capable, and sometimes we just like to act like the fool, or we like to set people up to
It's all
experiment for
about
themselves. Yeah.
enjoying yourself. What's the saying? If you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. I mean, let's be real.
I mean, we enjoy
This
what we do,
place
but we
works.
work. Yeah.
We work a lot, but a lot of the things here are just fun.
Yeah.
We do stuff more or less to entertain ourselves than we do the fans. Let's be real. A lot of the things we do are just for us. I don't know.
But I think that translates over because we're having
Sometimes.
fun. And I've stated this, and I'll keep doing it. I want people to go home with stories. And so when we do things that are fun for us and we bring people in with us, that's your story. You feel like you're part of this, not just watching a game. You're
Right.
not just at an event. But there still is that kind of weird separation. I'm sorry, we're at 40. This is a good.
I think 39
just-
of that was just you trying to get this last thought out of your brain.
Okay. And we talked. You asked me about Rally Squirrel. People someone said to me this week, it's like I don't see you outside of Rally Squirrel. It's weird. It's like
What?
Because I'm only Rally Squirrel like 6 times a year, which is fun for me, but it's not. It's not what I want to be known for.
Really?
I want to be
What do you
known-
want to be known for here then?
Having a clear, concise thought and getting my words out.
That's not going to happen.
I know, but you asked me what I want.
Dream realistically.
What I want.
What do you want to be known for here? Go.
I want to continue the legacy of kind of pushing the boundaries, having fun, and putting together a baseball game for people who don't like baseball. And I want my friends to stay. Everyone's leaving all the time.
I know.
Everyone
Everyone always leaves.
Speaking of leaving, I just have to pour one out for the brown dinosaur. I had to throw him away.
T-Rex.
T-Rex is gone. Brown
Dang.
T-Rex is gone.
Dang.
Just couldn't fix him anymore. I wish we had a camera taping, filming, videoing what happened before I had to get out there. I got in the green one, zipped it up, or the brown one, zipped it up, and the zipper came right off. It's like, damn. Because I had checked all the batteries. It was good to go. We had 3 outs. And as you know, 3 outs can take...
Sometimes innings have 3 outs.
Sometimes innings have 3 outs. So now coach is helping me.
Yep.
So we've got
Nice.
2 guys trying to get a guy into a dinosaur costume. We have to get the green one. I'm telling him where it is in the bins. There's an intern looking for it as well. I know where it's at. I can't get my words out because I'm like...
Because you're you.
Because it's in that bin. The bin that says dinosaur underneath the other dinosaurs. I need the hands. Never at any point do I say anything.
I missed it because
You were-
I didn't have a sheet, and I asked an intern, before we were going out to center field, I was like, what's after? Maybe it was the baby race or something. And she goes, Spire. And I was like, okay, great. So I went and assumed my position for tire race. And then all of a sudden, I see T-Rex happening. I was like, you liar. She goes, oh, I thought you meant that's something we had to help out with. And I was like,
Josh Will School of Thought. Putting on the green one now, and the fans aren't working, and we have one out left, and I'm panicking at this point, trying to tell coach, go out there and do something. It's calisthenics, you know. But then the fans kick in and they're working, and it just feels wobbly to me. It doesn't feel fully inflated.
Yeah.
Which, watching the video is great, because your sense of when you're in the costume.
You saw the video?
I saw the video.
I thought you just said that you wish that you wish they were
They're getting ready for
recording
it.
before.
Yeah. So a half inflated dinosaur on the outside does not look like on the inside. So I was like, oh, this works out really well. Probably the strongest dinosaur outing we've had this year. I was very happy with it, but also one of those moments of like, this is where I want the interns. I want someone else to do it. I think that should be their experience.
Yeah.
I can do it. I can do it well. Is it my job to do it? No, my job is field correspondent and entertainment director. Do I need to step into these roles? Sometimes in a heat of the moment type thing, I would say do it because something has to go on the field.
Right.
Do I want to be that center of attention? Do I want to be the fool? Not particularly, but do we want to do this well? Yes. How do we do this well with other people is my challenge for next year.
Self-confidence.
Oh, I've got tons of that. Sometimes.
Be the fool.
But I want to learn how to, like what I was talking about with Kelly. I want you to do it. I want you to do it to your best of ability.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to learn. That's my goal for next year, is to
let other people do it.
Let other people do it, but know how to explain it to them enough that it's theirs,
well,
and
if
say
you
what we need.
start working on your words now, you might be able to explain it to them next year.
That's not just gonna have some coffee right now. This was episode 8.
No, 10. Yeah.
Holy cow!
What are you
Time
talking about?
flies. What are you talking about?
Are we doing this in the off season?
I think we should check in every once in a while. I think our goofy not seeing each other for a couple weeks always lends to a good podcast because we go off topic incredibly. You can see that this week I was very introspective, a lot of thought going on because we had games and we stayed really on topic, except when we got off
We
topic.
actually talked about sane stuff this time, though.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. Because I'm sure there's going to be things that so tired. So when do you get a break? Is it when the season is officially over? 2 weeks after? Are you just going to leave today and not come back?
No, they tell everyone like pretty much the 4 to 6 weeks after the season is done, take time. And it's very not specific. It's technically like 2 weeks, but I usually just do a bunch of Fridays and Mondays off and just do long weekends for like 4 weeks in a row. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, but it's like if some people might take 13 days off, some people take 5. We really need to work on having like a guidebook on all of this stuff. It's very wishy-washy.
Well,
but
I do think we should continue doing this. Maybe not every week, but
I feel like we're like on a third date and we're like, should we continue this or should we
I just
go
need a
our
little
separate
time
ways?
today was like, I just need time to find myself and have the confidence to.
AKA, you want to go
bring
back
this.
on that dating app. You want to see what else is out there.
Oh my God.
And then
that would
nothing else
scare
is
the
out
hell
there.
of me. Nope. I like
and then
where
you
I'm
come
at.
back 3 weeks later.
I like being married and I like my kids. I think that's fantastic. Episode 10. I'm Joshua Will, your entertainment director here at the St. Paul Saints.
And the married one. And I am Sierra Bailey. I have cayenne pepper in my coffee right now. It's really good.
I went running with Sago.
Sweet.
We went 7 miles.
Wow.
Next week, we are going to run the concourse to see what it's like because he said he talked to you.
Yep.
So we're going to try that. But I went to Trader Joe's right after.
Love
we cannot
Trader
say
Joe's.
goodbye. This is such a Minnesota goodbye.
Joey's so annoyed right now, but also I love Trader Joe's.
Yeah, now I'm interested in
Yeah. So I
went to Trader Joe's yesterday. Got all the pumpkin spice stuff. Oh, so much stuff. Go.
Which Trader Joe's did you go to?
There's one in Woodbury by where I live.
Okay. So I was down on 35E. I got the kids some taquitos. Some
Taquitos.
chicken enchiladas, and then they've got these beautiful, they're almost chocolate pastries that you put them out the night before, and they puff up like, and then you put them in the oven for 10 minutes. Oh, they're so good.
Like chia pets?
Exactly. Except it's edible. I suppose you could eat a chia
They're not.
pet.
Chia pets aren't.
I suppose
Herbs. We should get one for the set and put it right here. And then each week we can check in on our chia pet.
It's just gonna be one chia. But I got a energy water that was lemon strawberry, apple cider vinegar.
Jesus. Sorry. I
And
shouldn't have said
use
that
the
word.
cayenne pepper.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really good for your digestion. And I will do it at home with water. I was like, this sounds really good.
Okay.
And so I drank it in the car. And after a run, it is the worst. I was just like, oh, why do I make poor life decisions time and time again?
You got to drink some greens, man.
And then I had a couple of beers, so everything was good.
There you go.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
It's not strange, both things are rearranged. No one to blame. It's all for the fun of the game.